brand fit with everything else, and try to look at the elements of the brand. We try also to see how we develop message map for the brand and translate the brand to the real world. And finally, we will look at what's the common frustration that we go through when we develop our brand. So basically, I'm just gonna try to walk you step by step how we can develop brand for our business. If you are new to the business world, or if you already have a brand that's already developed, that's already out there in the market, you also have a chance to see how you can improve your brand and make it successful brand as well. So what is brand? Probably many people, they have confusion about what is brand. I have seen different stories. Some people related the brand to the logo, other related to the design. And if you ask probably 10 people about what is brand, most likely they're going to tell you 10 different divisions or 10 different things about what brand means. But the simplest way I wanted to define brand today is basically think of the brand is what you stand for on the mind of the people who you are trying to reach, influence, and move to action. So basically, think of the brand as how your consumer think of you, okay? Think of the brand, what the people will say about you when you are not in the room. That's the best way to think about the brand, okay? And here we focus on how we stand in the consumer mind, and we focus on the word reach, influence, and move to the action. The very important word here is moving to the action, because if we cannot move our consumer to action, that means all our work is just waste of money and time. You develop an excellent brand, a brand that everybody like, a brand that all the people excited about, but nobody buying your brand, so it doesn't make sense really. But what we need to do here as a marketer is, or for your business, is to develop a brand, to influence people, to move people to action. And when we talk about action here, it could be probably about people could talk or tell someone else about your brand, or people could buy your brand, or probably they could recommend it online or recommend it to the friend. So all of that action that we talk about. So are you guys right now have a clear image of what is brand? All right, excellent. So that's the brand really, how we stand in the consumer mind. What our focus today will be is the brand strategy. And the brand strategy is basically the science of discovering, understanding, articulating, and evolving your brand. It's basically how we can make the magic trick to make our brand work for the consumer, to make our brand influence the consumer and move the consumer to the action. So this is basically what we're going to focus about. What we're going to focus about is the brand strategy. Think of the brand strategy is everything that you do to make your brand stronger, make it compete in the market, and make it influence the consumer as well. So why brand strategy is important for business? Probably all of you right now, if you have a business, you understand that brand strategy is really critical for your business. Why? Because number one, the brand strategy attracts the best customer. You know that best brand in the world, that they have the best customer, right? Apple, they have the best customer. Mercedes-Benz, they have the best customer. BMW, they have the best customer. Why? Because we have stronger brand, you attract the best as well. That's number one. Number two, the brand strategy can differentiate you from the other. What I mean by that, if you want to be different in the market, you must be different than other. Think of the business world as a tank of sharks. It's a tank of sharks with a bloody sharks, okay? And you are a business going there. So if you're not different, if you are not compete, if you're not strong enough, they're gonna eat you alive, probably. So you have to be strong, you have to be different, you have to enter the market with a stronger brand. And on the marketplace, how do you enter the stronger brand? Is basically by differentiating yourself from the other business, okay? A brand also will support your price. Most likely, as a customer, if we go to any place, okay, to buy any product, we will always question the price. We will always try to get discount. We will always try to get that deal, an extra thing, okay? But if you think about product that really has stronger brand, most likely your consumer will not ask you why the price is high, because you already give them a reason for that. Okay, I'll try to read it slow. I had too much coffee this morning, that's why. But again, sorry for that. If we talk about the brand as well, we said that it supports your price. So talking about the price, we said that if you are a stronger brand, most likely you have a justification to have the customer to pay for that price. Because think of it, when you go to buy Mercedes-Benz, okay? He has 500 beautiful class, I wish I had one. And most likely, you will not ask the dealer there for that discount, or will not ask the company for discount. Why? Simply because Mercedes-Benz, they give you enough justification to charge higher price. So through their brand, they tell you why we charge more than any other brand. And that works exactly for your business. Once you have a stronger brand, that will give the customer reason to not ask for discount, to not ask for extra thing, because they know that they pay the price and they get something that's really worth their money. Okay? So, it's brand will provide credibility. Once you develop a stronger brand, most likely your brand will be credible, which is meaning that whenever the customer buy your brand, they will not question it. Okay? Because if they buy the promise, remember, think of the brand as a promise that you are making to your customer. And if you break that promise, most likely it's going to affect your business for long term. The brand is like a personal relationship. Think of it as you have a friend or your relationship with the people. If you cannot keep your promise, most likely people will start questioning you. They will not believe everything that you're saying to them. And that's exactly for the brand as well. If I make a promise that I can deliver high quality product, I have to keep that promise for the consumer. Otherwise, most likely they will not buy my product. Credibility will also give you a chance to introduce a new product to the consumer. So think of it right now. If Apple company decide to go out there to the market and introduce a new electronic product, most likely all of us will buy that product. We will think about it, we will search it, but we will buy it. Why? Because Apple's brand already established credibility for the consumer. We already know that Apple product is a product that comes with high quality, is a product that comes with a very strong brand, is a product that quality is guaranteed. That's what Apple brand stands for. So think of it as when you develop a stronger brand for your business, it's easier for you to introduce a new product, new service later on. Okay? Think of Product and Apple, one of the biggest companies in the United States. Right now they are successful. How many products they have? Almost more than 500 products under their name. Why? Because it's easy for Product and Gamble to introduce product than any other company. Think of it if they want to introduce cleaning product. Okay? They go out there in the market, they can easily sell it to the consumer. Other company, they need to develop name, they need to work with the consumer, spend a lot of advertisement, and so on. So this is basically how the brand strategy is important for your business. Engage and leverage the consumer and attract and retain best employees. Why best employees? Because once you have a strong brand, your brand will reflect on the culture of your organization. If you see Google right now, Google brand, you know that Google, they have the best organization culture. The best place to work in the world is Google company or Facebook. Why? Because their brand reflect on the organization culture, and that's true for most of the organization. Your brand will tell the people how you treat your employee. It will tell the people how is the culture of your organization, and also it will tell about your product. So that's how important is your brand is about. Okay, so we know right now why brand is very important and why we should really care about the brand for our business. So, why brand strategy is not easy for you when we develop it as a marketer? To be honest, it's challenging. It's not that easy to put brand strategy together. Why is that? Because number one, you have many audience you're trying to reach. You have many audience you're trying to influence as well. Okay? If I know that my audience, they all have the same need, most likely it's going to be easy for me. I know that my people, they need only a product that will help them probably read better in the class, or that will help them present better in the class. It's easy to reach for them. But when I have different type of consumer who have different type of needs for my product, that's a challenge. Because I have to develop my message right now here based on the personality. And this is what we're going to discuss today. Try to understand how we can develop our message to kind of approach or cover most of the audience out there in the market. A brand strategy is difficult as well because you have many stakeholders. If you are the marketing manager and you are the only person who is responsible for that brand strategy, it will be easy. It will be sunshine and rainbow because I will develop my brand strategy and put it there out in the market and boom, there we go, you have it. But the problem is with the brand strategy, you have many stakeholders. You have the CEO involved, the marketing department, you have the marketing research, you have the customer out there in the market, and everyone here, the board director, and every single party here, they have to say something on that brand. So your brand decision will not come only from your brand department. If you are an executive marketing manager there for your company, you will not have that decision by yourself. Again, you need to remember always, unless if you are a product who starts from the zero, brand always something that's already out of the market. So if you already have a brand that has been in the market for a while, most likely the customer, they already have an idea about you. They already have something about your business. So it takes time to change people's opinion about your business and about your brand as well. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes money. So believe it or not, it's much easier to start from scratch, to start a brand from zero as a new company than to work on improving your brand or improving the brand that's already there. Why? Because again, the consumer already have an idea. Think of it as a person, the brand. You are a person. People already have an idea about your personality, about who you are right now. They might misinterpret you, but you will have a chance to change your opinion about your personality. It's for the brand. But if you're somebody who just come into the city and people that don't know you, you'll have a better chance to develop a personality for yourself, the brand that you want to do. Okay. So that's the challenge also with the brand strategy and how to influence the consumer. So where does a brand strategy fit? We talked about different concepts, different elements that's related to the brand. Basically, we have 4 elements that are related to the brand. And this element is what makes the brand really, what hold the brand together, okay? The first element that we have, which what we call it, the brand essence, okay? The brand essence is the most hard part that you're gonna put together for your brand. Why is that? Because the brand essence basically is very simple, but at the same time it's complicated. So think of the brand essence is the promise that you give to the consumer about your product. Another point, think of it as the benefit, the value that you're going to provide to to your consumer. It should be unique. Think of Apple. Apple provides a unique product. It should be experiential, which is mean that once the customer use your brand, it can evoke feeling for the customer. Okay? Volvo, their brand essence is safety, Volvo car. And once the customer drives their car, they will feel the safety of driving that car. That's how the product should make you feel. Okay? Apple, what's their message? When they came up with a product, Steve Jobs said, we're going to create a product that's simple and easy to use. Okay? It's a smartphone that's simple and easy to use. There was so many smartphones in the market back in 2007. Probably you guys remember Nokia was a big guy in the block, other company. They're not there anymore. Why? It's probably because Apple, they came up to the market and they found a need for the consumer. They found that most of us, whether our business people, academic, we need smartphone for our life. But we have a challenge to use this smartphone that's been there with BlackBerry, with Nokia. So Apple, they came to the market and they said, our brand essence is to create a phone that is smart and simple to use. And they were very successful in that. That's it, smart and simple to use. Just imagine how powerful is that. They didn't came out and they said, we're going to create a phone that's really complicated, it's very strong, the best. No, they said it's simple and smart, and that's it. And was very successful. So that's how the brand essence could be different for the consumer. It must be authentic in the brand essence. Once you develop the brand essence for your product, it must be unique and authentic. It should not copy someone else. Because once the customer feels that you are copying someone else, most likely you're going to lose the credibility to your brand. So it must be unique, also to differentiate you from the other. Okay? You must deliver the brand essence on constant way. You cannot deliver quality today and tomorrow decide we're going to reduce our quality. No. If I'm Apple company and I'm saying that my product is high quality, that's my brand essence. With every product that I'm producing, with every product I'm making, I must deliver quality with that product. Otherwise, if the customer senses that the quality is going low, that's going to influence our brand image as well. So again, I want to just remind you again, once you develop the brand essence, make sure that it's unique. That's number one for your brand business. Make sure that it's experiential. It's evoke feeling for the customer. Okay? The feeling here, it could be anything. If you go to hair salon, you could probably have a brand for the hair salon or the haircut that make you feel comfortable there. That's the brand essence of this salon. If you go probably to Ferrari World, to Six Flags, any place where you can play with your kids, if they can evoke the feeling that you feel happy there, you feel pleasant there, that's an essence as well. Okay? Authentic and constantly. So these are the brand essence. I'm going to give you a little bit example about the brand essence and how to work for the consumer in a simple way. Think of Disney. You guys know Disney? Disney World. Disney World is one of the most successful companies around the world. Do you guys know why Disney is successful? It's because of their brand essence. On their brand essence for Disney World, their brand essence is everything is magical. So they have that filter for their product. Whatever we make it should be magical. If it's not magical, we will not have it in our product line. That's basically how they make it, very simple. It's not complicated, that's their brand essence. So if any movie, product that does not evoke that emotion and create experience that will last for the consumer, most likely it's not going to sell for the consumer and they will not accept it. Why people right now who live in Disneyland 50 years ago, they go back again right now with the kids and they want to go to Disneyland to have fun. It's because that emotional feeling that they create. And remember, the best product out there in the market is the product that it can evoke emotion for the consumer. If you can evoke an emotion for the consumer, your product will be one of the successful products in the world. And when we talk about emotion, think of it as happiness, joyfulness, love, excitement, all of this emotion. Think of it, any product that's successful right now out there, they all evoke emotion for the consumer, and that's why the consumer, they like them and they go back to get that feeling, that emotion from the product. Then we have the second element of the brand is what we call the brand positioning. The brand positioning also is the promise that you give to the consumer. It's basically, brand positioning is where you want it to stand on the consumer mind, where I want it to be, how I want my customer to think of me. I'm a restaurant out there. How I want my customer to think of me. Do I want them to think of me as a healthy restaurant, or do I want to make them think of me as a place where they can family restaurant, friendly restaurant? That's the positioning. Remember, when you make the positioning, it must be aspirational. So it's basically kind of statement that you make for your business that will last in the consumer mind. An example of that would be, think of a school, university. Their statement position will be, we try to deliver excellent education for better future, better education. That's a position statement. They're looking at the future and how we're going to create a bright future for their student through their institute, okay? So you have to look at what you have been doing before, where you want it to be in the future, and based on that you develop your brand positioning statement. You always have to talk about we. For example, Starbucks, their position statement is something like, I don't remember exactly, but something about we energize the community with best coffee out of the world. We commit to provide you with the best quality, with a coffee that's not involved child labor or not involved any low fare for the farmer price or the wages. So that's basically kind of something inspiring for the consumer. If you are a restaurant, for example, think of your position statement will be something like, we provide healthy food for our customer to ensure that they have healthy lifestyle for better life. That's a position statement. Right now they provide healthy food and they're looking for providing better lifestyle for the consumer. So it's more aspirational for the consumer. And it always must be something that better what you are right now, something that where you aspire to be. Look at Apple, Mercedes, BMW, all the commercial, it's focusing on the future, where we're going to be, what we're going to do in the future, okay? Because you must be updated all the time with that. When you develop your brand positioning,
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
You're talking about the Starbucks, okay?
Yeah.
But, for example, can I know where you're from?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm from Jordan. Jordan.
Jordan, very good. So, how you going to let you, for example, like a Starbucks?
How I can?
Like a Starbucks in your country.
How I can position it?
Yeah, you want to make a Starbucks in your country, but you cannot. For example, in Philippines.
Okay.
A Starbucks is other brand, okay? So I know the national brand. Sometimes they like some national brand.
Okay. All right. That's a good question. If you wanted to start a business, if I'm decide that I want to start Starbucks in my country. Now first you have to decide whether you go with the Starbucks, because franchise you can take it to your country. But if I cannot start Starbucks in my country, you can start other product that's better than Starbucks. You might ask, well, how I can start a product that's better than Starbucks? Starbucks is multi-million dollars, and I'm just a person who probably have money, but it's not really that much money to start my bike. Well, think of the brand, you always can do something different and better than what your competitor. Starbucks, when they start based on the quality and the good service. They find the need in the market, okay? So right now, if I go to Jordan and I want to start a coffee shop, I have to look at the customer and have to ask, what's the best coffee shop that's already there? I'm probably going to find a few Starbucks. Why they are successful Starbucks in Jordan? Because they provide good service, high quality beans of coffee. How I can beat against that? Very simple. create a brand that can provide higher quality, higher employee, that they can provide better service, and I guarantee you can make better business. Now, how you can make better business? Because you are focusing. If you understand the brand, you can be your business, you can develop it, make it grow, okay? Better than Starbucks. Starbucks, they have management, but these management, they're not the owner. That's the difference. And you guys know when Starbucks, they started in 1972. They started in a small city in Seattle, and they start on the basic concept that they find the need that most of the coffee shop around the area, Seattle, Washington, they were providing a service that's bad, and the customer complained about that service, and the coffee quality wasn't good. So they start that small shop, and that's how they grow internationally. So that's basically how you can start. Don't always assume that it's because international company or big company, they can be big or they are the only one who's successful. No. You could be very simple business, focus, and you can be successful with your brand. Okay. So when you develop the brand positioning, you have to ask a few questions. First, you have to ask, what's the only category that I'm in? So think about Harley-Davidson, the motorcycle company, okay? When they start their manufacture, they start as, we are the only manufacturer in the United States. And then ask the question, how we can be different than other motorcycles? How we can be different than Honda, than Suzuki, than Yamaha, that's already in the market. And the answer was that we're going to create a motorcycle that's big and loud. You probably guys all can notice Harley-Davidson motorcycle, big one, okay? Some company they make that, but that was their signature, manufacturing motorcycle that big and loud. Then you have to ask, who's my customer? Who I am targeting? And their customer was very obvious. They targeting the macho guy, the guy who tried to be very obvious in the street, a person who's looking for everybody to watch them, people who believe in the freedom as well as they introduce their product as well. Where is our target? Mostly United States, and then they export to the other world, and then when or why the customer will buy our product, they will buy it because it makes them feel more relief, more kind of freedom. So, whenever you develop your product or your brand, you have to ask this question. We're going to do an exercise about this later on, but you have to ask the question is, number one, what's my product? How I'm going to make it different? Then, where I'm going to sell my product? Why my customer will buy my product as well, and when, and here you have to decide when I can make a customer excited about the product and buy it as well. So these are basically the questions you have to ask to develop your brand position. Because again, the brand position is based on the customer need. You cannot just come out to the market and say, this is what our brand position. No, it's based on research, and we're going to talk about that in the following slide. Home Depot, one of the company, you guys know Home Depot in the US? Home Depot is a business that sells hardware. Their business concept came out that they find there's a need for the consumer to buy stuff and do it by themselves. Most of the consumer in the United States, they have a hard time to go buy a product and hire someone else and pay high money for the consumer. So their business concept is you can buy the product and we can show you how to do it yourself. That was an easy, simple concept to sell business. They did the same thing in China. It wasn't successful. Anyone know why it wasn't successful in China? Why do you think Home Depot, their business concept is based on do it yourself, was successful in the United States, but it wasn't successful in China? It's basically correct. It's basically because in China, labor is cheap. It's not expensive as the US. So most Chinese consumer, they find it doesn't make sense to go and buy it myself and do it myself. I can hire someone that will do it for me. So that's basically. So you have always to connect the need of your consumer and to put it first. If my customer doesn't need the brand, most likely it's not going to be successful. If you are successful in one country, doesn't mean that you're going to be successful in the next one. So you have to keep that in mind as well. We will give time for a question, so you guys just bear with me so we can keep moving. Then you have to think about the third element or the fourth element, which is the attribute. Think of the attribute as the theme of your product. These are the benefits that you are giving to the consumer. The attribute is what your product is standing out, why it's standing out from the other product. So again, for Apple, it was quality, simplicity, and it was also the innovation. These are the three key attributes for the product. With the key attribute, you always have to limit it between 2 to 3. If you put it more out there, it's going to be confusing for the consumer. Why is that? Because once we make our decision about any product, we will make our final decision based on most significant or salient attribute. So for example, if you're going to buy a phone, okay, most likely you have in mind Samsung, Apple, and BlackBerry. These three brands. What's the salient attribute? It will tell you, Samsung, you can have space memory, you can have freedom with the phone, and nice screen. Apple, they tell you innovation, simplicity, and quality. BlackBerry, they tell you security, safety, and innovation. So, based on these three attributes, that's what we make our decision. Do I need safety? Do I need innovation? Or do I need more freedom with my phone? And that's how the customer make their decision. It's the same for your small business. Let's say that you are a carpet company. You manufacture carpet and you sell it all over the world. Okay? What makes you different than the other? I'm a carpet that's high quality. Okay? I provide excellent customer service. And also, I probably provide finance or something unique about my product. So 1, 2, 3, that's it. If you try to tell your customer that our carpet company is excellent, is unique, is better services, so on and so on, so on, you're going to confuse the customer. They will not know what you are there for the market in. Make it 3 attributes, make it very significant, and most important, make them different than the competitor. So always look at your competitor, what they are doing, and try to come up with attribute that's different. When Domino's Pizza, they came out to the market, their business concept was, we're gonna make a pizza company that can deliver you a pizza in 15 minutes. Nobody had that on any place in the market. Most of the company like Pizza Hut and other pizza, you have to wait half hour or 1 hour to get the pizza to your house. But Domino's Pizza, when they came to the market, their attitude, they find something different, something stand out from the other. They said that we deliver the pizza 15 minutes. If we don't deliver it in 15 minutes, you will get your money back. That's basically how it was the simple attribute for their business. So again, try to make it simple, try to make it fast. Give it 3 attributes and include description for each attribute. So, for example, if you are saying that, let's say that we are a carpet company and we develop 3 attributes. One of our attributes is to have high quality. Let's say high quality, excellent customer service, customer oriented, let's say these 3. What do you mean by high quality? So under each attribute you have to put this description. The description will be high quality, it means that we use material that's not available any place in the market here, or high quality could be that our materials coming from, or it use the labor that's handmade. This could be our high quality. High quality could be that it's something that against the fire or something that. Remember, you have to give description. So once you develop the 3 attributes, under each one, you have to develop description. We are customer service oriented. What do you mean by that? It means that we will communicate face to face with the customer. If you have a problem with the carpet, we're going to come address it. If you have so on and so on. That's the best way. Focus on this guy. He's very important for you, for your business. Basically, come out with each attribute and good description under each attribute. Why we are excellent, why we are customer service, why we are this. Why? This is will help you after you develop that map. Put it on front desk of each employee, so that employee they know, if I'm a customer service employee, I know what I should do in our business. So you have a map that everybody in your business they can follow and they can deliver on later on. Okay?